Hey there. Welcome back to Unstuck. I'm Robin Goldenberg. So, last week we talked about that quiet stuckness that shows up when everything's technically working, but you still feel tired, over it, or like the business just isn't working for you anymore. And today, we're digging into one of the biggest reasons that happens. You're trying to run a grown up business on a survival mode org chart. So, let's talk org charts. Not the corporate kind. Don't get your back up. Not the over engineered startup kind, but the kind small business owners actually need that helps your business scale without bottlenecking around you. Because here's what happens all the time: you build a business, you hire a few people, you start delegating, things run okay. But one day, the growth hits a ceiling. Not because sales aren't coming in, not because the work isn't getting done, but because the structure was never designed to handle what you're going to do next. You built the org chart for survival. Now you need to rebuild it for scale. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. Here's how most small business org charts evolve in real life: you doing everything. Then you maybe hire a virtual assistant or an admin. Then maybe a marketing assistant or a contractor. Then delivery or admin help. Maybe eventually a manager who ends up doing a little bit of everything. It works, but it's messy. And most importantly, it's built around people and personalities, not functions. And that is the trap. When your org chart is shaped by who you have and not what the business needs, you create a structure that caps your growth. So let me give you a real world example. One of my clients, let's call her Sarah, runs a high touch consulting business. She has a team of 7, and on paper, things looked good: a marketing lead, a part time ops manager, a few contractors handling delivery, and an executive assistant. But Sarah was still making every decision. Clients were still coming to her when they needed something. Her marketing lead was technically in charge, but still texting her at night with quick questions. We've all been there. So we pulled her org chart. Not the one in the HR folder, the real one, the one that reflected how work and decisions are actually flowing. And here's what we saw: no one owned revenue. Delivery had 3 people touching it, but no clear lead. And ops was overloaded. And Sarah, she was sitting on the top of every single decision stream: approvals, pricing, proposals, client escalations. We weren't looking at a team, we were looking at a bunch of helpers orbiting around a very tired owner. So let's talk about rebuilding from functions and not people. Here's where we start when we rebuild. The first step is to define the 6 core functions of the business: sales, marketing, operations, finance, HR or people, and leadership, which we also sometimes refer to as vision, and ask who owns each function today, and then who should own it based on where we're going. And don't just map roles, map the responsibilities. For example, marketing doesn't mean posting on LinkedIn, it means owning messaging, driving demand, supporting sales, managing marketing spend. If no one is doing those things, the function isn't being owned. The next step is to separate people from roles. This is where it gets hard, really hard, especially in small teams. You have to ask yourself, if I could build this business from scratch today, what roles would I actually need? Then map your current people to that structure. Honestly, you'll probably find that some people are in the right seat, some are overloaded, some are in the in between, and some roles don't exist yet, but will be critical in 6 to 12 months. The goal isn't to replace people, it's to give your team a structure that they can grow into, not be buried under. So, here's your real time action list from this episode so you can take this into your business now. The first thing I want you to do is sketch your org chart from functions first. No names, just boxes. What does your business actually need to run and grow? So I would start with, this is how I would do it: revenue. So usually sales and marketing sit under that. Then fulfillment and delivery, and operations, finance, and leadership. You can add in HR and product depending on your business model. And then your next step after that is to add roles and responsibilities. For each function, we have to define, what does ownership here look like? And what outcomes is this role responsible for? And this turns your chart into a performance tool, not just a box diagram. And then your last step here is to map your current people to it. Now's the time to layer in your team. Where are the gaps? Where are you doubling up? Where are you still sitting in too many boxes? Use this to guide hiring, delegation, and leadership growth. Here's the thing: you outgrew your old org chart a long time ago. You just haven't rebuilt it yet. And if the business still relies on you to connect every dot, solve every problem, and make every call, your structure is your ceiling. Rebuild for where you're going, not where you started, not who you have now, and not what worked last year. Build a business that's designed to run with or without you in the center of everything. Next week, we're going to talk about long term vision and why you need a 5-year plan. Yes, even if everything keeps changing. So, subscribe to Unstuck wherever you get your podcasts. And if you know a business owner who's buried under their own org chart, send this their way. Let's scale with structure. Let's get unstuck.